everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday.
Story time about the time this girl invited me to Miami to kind of try to use me for my money. Put your seatbelts on because you guys are about to go on a ride. The story is kind of interesting. Okay, so let's start. For one, the girl was a little bit younger than me. So the girl would always call me for advice. So also keep in mind, when I first met this girl, she was going through something, I think, with her group of friends. She also never really invited me out like that, but at the time I didn't mind because she was a little bit younger, and I don't like, first of all, I don't like being around no group of females, but I especially don't like to be around a group of females that's a lot younger than me. So this is what kind of made me trust her in the beginning. She was telling me about certain things that was going on with her group of friends, and I've been through similar situations. So basically, one of her best friends was like one of those people from New York that is just desperate to be clicked up and connected with the popular crowd. And she doesn't care who you are. If you get into it with someone who's really popular, she will start acting funny with you. She'll side-eye you, cut you off. She don't care if you're her mother. If her mother gets into it with somebody really popular, she'll take their side, basically. So basically, her and her friend had they had a falling out because they all went out, and one of the people who went out with her was basically a boy, because he was really young, who was connected to this really popular rapper in New York. She ended up getting into it with him, and her friend got mad at her for it. And I straight up told her, I said, your friend is a dick rider. And what's funny is I kind of the friend knew of me too. The friend, I remember, was dick riding these guys from Harlem, and they didn't even have money or nothing. They just had popularity. Then she used to lie that this one really popular person from Harlem was her cousin. Her lying about that told me everything I needed to know. And she also lied about what she did for a living. Also, okay, so the girl that invited me to Miami, whatever, the one I'm telling you about right now that was having the problems with her friends, she was really pretty. Let me give you a description on this girl. All right, imagine, okay, Aaliyah, rest in peace, and remember the 90s singer Maya? Blend them together, and that's what she looked like. She was that pretty, but she was more of like Maya's complexion, but she looked like Maya and Aaliyah at the same time. Her friend, the dick rider, was not cute. She looked like Mr. Potato Head or some type. Like, her face was really big, and then like her body was like funny, like, and a lot of you might disagree with this, but when it comes to me, when I don't know what's going on, I kind of believe the prettier person a little bit more. And I know y'all gonna hate me for that, but 9 times out of 10, whoever looks cleaner, whoever is prettier, usually is the one telling the truth. So guess what? They had
Kind
this
of
big
logic.
falling out, and I was able to get both sides of the story. You want to know how? Not because I spoke to the ugly friend. Let me tell you how I got both sides of the story. One day, I think her friend called her, or she called her friend, I don't remember. The pretty one had 2 phones. So she had me on FaceTime on one phone, and she had her friend on speaker on the other phone. And if she was lying about everything that happened, why would she let me listen to the conversation when her friend could have said anything? So based on everything her friend said, I knew she was the one telling the truth. So I felt bad for her for that. So moving right along, every now and then, okay, the pretty one who invited me to Miami, we're just going to call her Miami girl. So every now and then, Miami girl will go out with her friends, and the next day she'll always have a complaint about them to me. Like, let me ask your advice about this. Let me ask your advice about that. She always, wanted to ask about my advice about something. Again, I never questioned why I wasn't invited, because I'm like, maybe I just don't want to be around that. One day, I go out, not on a date, with this guy that she's also familiar with, right? I posted our drinks and food. I even tagged him. Everybody who knows me knows if I'm dating somebody, I will never post them and tag them. So here's the thing. After she saw me out with him, a couple of days later, she hit him up to bring her and her friends out for drinks and food. Didn't involve me at all. I don't remember. I think he told me, and then when I spoke to her, she was like, oh, I hit up such to bring me, and I cursed her the fuck out. The reason why I cursed her the fuck out was because you never thought of him until you saw him on my page, and you've been following him, and you've been knew who he was way before you saw me out on a little outing with him. So that was kind of one red flag right there. She kind of took accountability, and that's why I moved on from it. So here comes the good part. By the way, this was like around COVID. This was like when they started opening a little bit up, around COVID, when COVID was kind of ending. So she calls me one day she's in Miami, right? And she's arguing with security in her hotel. I think they was telling her like it's time for her to check out. She got to go. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, whatever. So we didn't speak again until like a week later when she got back to New York. So I think a month later, she calls me and she's like, you know, as a matter of fact, I skipped the part. Her birthday came and she had a birthday dinner and I wasn't invited. And again, I'm thinking like, I'm not trying to hang with those young bitches anyway. And then she told me like, yeah, you know, I didn't invite you because I didn't think you would want to be around those type of girls. I'm like, okay, whatever. She goes, but let's go out to eat tonight to make up for it. So I said, okay, whatever, I'll pay since it was your birthday. I get all ready and everything. She's answering her phone and she's calling me. But around this time, it was still curfew for the restaurants. And it's not like 11 at night. So I'm like, what do you... And then she goes, oh, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go to this older guy's house to pick up some money. And she doesn't even say like, rain check or we'll do this another time. She just like, so yeah, I don't know what you want to do. Like, so then anyway, she calls me another time and she's like, you know, I know we never been out. You want to come with me to Miami or whatever? And around this time, I haven't been to Miami in a little while. And then she goes, you know, I only been there once and, you know, you used to always go. So maybe you could show me around. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good or whatever. She's saying she's situating everything. So I sent her my half for the hotel. So keep in mind, we booked a regular hotel, not a suite or nothing. We get to Miami, we get to the hotel. Why the hotel isn't even booked yet or anything, and I see her paying for it right then and there. I sent you the money. I'm thinking she was going to book it online. So now we had to wait even longer. So we go next door to this taco spot, whatever. And I hear her on the phone talking to this girl. And I hear her saying, yeah, call me when you get here. There should be a parking spot or something. I'm like, who's that? So then she goes, oh, my friend is going to stay with us just like for one night. And I'm like, we're in a regular sized room. Where is she going to stay? And then she goes, well, I need her for her car. She said we need her for her car. I don't need nobody for shit. I don't use nobody for shit. And one of the reasons why I don't use nobody for shit, because if I want to cut you off real quick, I need to be able to let you just fucking go. I don't use people. So I'm like, you need her for her car. I don't, whatever. So I'm like, let me see this girl. She shows me the girl. The pictures she showed me, it looks like some real cute chocolate girl, nice body, all of that. Long story short, the girl gets there and she does not look like none of her pictures. In fact, she was kind of busted. Even though she was kind of busted, I kind of clicked with the girl. I thought she was kind of nice. We started outside of her telling me, I don't even remember how she ended up just telling me this. She told me that, maybe the friend already knew, Miami girl. She told me that she hated light-skinned black girls. I did not initiate that conversation. And then she wasn't talking about me. She said, well, you and Miami girl, she said, y'all are Hispanic, so y'all are just Hispanic girls. And then she started like telling me like little stories of why she hates specifically light-skinned black girls. I kind of ignored it because it kind of had nothing to do with me, but I'm kind of like, damn. So all three of us go out that night, right? And Miss Chocolate, that's what we're going to call her, she was treating me and Miss Miami like we were like the punk ass Spanish bitches and we were supposed to be scared of her. She was like talking to us real like, do this, do that, like demanding shit. and talking down to us, basically. So she's talking down to us, yada, 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 or whatever. And so I just did not like that. And I was saying stuff to her, like to her face, like, who are you, you know? So I think that night we all, or Miss Miami, because she was the one scavenging her, and we all met like a group of people, and it was a group of guys, and in the group of guys, it was one girl there, which was kind of cool. And me and that girl ended up exchanging numbers, and Miss Miami and Miss Chocolate ended up exchanging numbers with the other guys. So they wanted to go to Booby Trap after. Honestly, guys, I'm over all that type of shit. Booby Trap, strip clubs. So after we went to the first spot, I was done. I went to Booby Trap with them, but then I left early. And when I got in the yellow taxi, I texted Miss Miami, and I was like, that girl cannot come back over here. Because the girl was disrespectful from the minute we stepped outside to the minute we got to Booby Trap. No. I said, and the girl put in no money for the room. I said, she didn't even put no money for the room or nothing. She's not coming back here. And then, a matter of fact, right, I'm trying to figure out this. All right, the story might not be in order because I'm really trying to remember, but just try to understand. So I go back and neither one of them came back. Miss Miami didn't come back. Miss Chocolate didn't come back. And I don't remember Miss Chocolate leaving her stuff there. I think she left it in her trunk. I don't remember. Or maybe her stuff was there. So the morning comes and only Miss Miami came back. And she was like, I'm going on a date with one of the guys I met yesterday. She was like, Miss Chocolate and me, we're both going on separate dates. So I'm talking to the girl I met through those same guys. And she's like, come on a boat with us. The boat leaves at 2, whatever. So I'm like, all right. So I get all ready. By the time I get there, Miss Chocolate and Miss Miami's on that boat after Miss Miami lied to me and said they were going on 2 separate dates, right? So the girl and a guy comes out. And the guy was like, where you been at? Why you didn't come earlier? He's like, come on. But then the guy, you know how like when you rent out a boat and they tell you only, so they're like, only a certain amount of people could be on the boat. And I was the last one to get there. So then the girl and the guy was like, oh, sorry, we can't just go and kick them off. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I walked off and I went out with my friend. I went out with one of my friends that she's real popular in Miami. She used to do music videos and all that. I told her what happened. And my friend was laughing like every time girls come to Miami, something like that happens. So I go out with her. She was hosting a club that night. I get back to the hotel real late. Why does it look like somebody wrecked the whole room? First of all, Miss Miami, Miss Chocolate is laying on the bed. Makeup everywhere. The stuff that you roll up weed with is everywhere. Drinks all on the floor, like disgusting. And my friend came up to the bathroom. She was like, what happened here? I snatched the sheet off of both of them. And I told that girl, Miss Chocolate, sleep. I was like, you gotta go. And I said, this fucking mess gotta get cleaned up or whatever the case may be. She gets up, grabs all her shit, and she leaves. And Miss Miami knew she was wrong. I'm like, why would you invite somebody in this small ass room and then being so fucking, that's the part I left out. That's the part matter of fact, I didn't leave it out because she didn't tell me yet. So then me and her, it wasn't even a back and forth argument. It's like she kind of knew she was wrong, so she didn't say anything. So then me and her started talking. I think I asked her like, because I was like, why is she back over here? I said, why couldn't she just stay where y'all went the night y'all didn't come back? So then my friend was like, no. She was like, what happened was I saw how mad you was in the text. And she was like, I saw the disrespect she was like giving to both of us. So I knew I couldn't take her back here. So she said, remember the guys we met that night? She said, yeah, we both went back to one of their hotels. And she said, we both slept in a bed with him. And she was like, while we were all in bed, she was like, I didn't even want to do it. She was like, but I had sex with him because he was letting both of us stay there. I kind of felt bad, but it wasn't my fault. When we booked that hotel, you did not say nothing about a third person staying in a little ass hotel because you needed her for her car. You never said nothing like that to me. Then in the duration of the trip, like the way she talked and the way she spoke, it was like she was a type that she was just like a user. Like she needed to use everybody. I did skip one part. Before we met up with Miss Chocolate, we went out.
She missing all the damn parts.
We went out to a restaurant on the strip, and the restaurant is kind of expensive. We ended up meeting someone, right? It's not a celebrity or anything, but it's somebody who's also really popular in Miami. He ended up paying for everything, so she got off the hook with that. I didn't get to see how broke she was yet. And then the first time we went out with Miss Chocolate, when I had to kick her out, people were paying for us then as well. So also keep in mind, every day I'm noticing she's not eating like that. And she didn't tell me about no diet because I went on a diet where I ate once a day. And I don't know if a lot of you noticed, but I was bigger than this like a year ago. And I did that. But she didn't tell me nothing about that. But I'm not thinking, I'm like, maybe she's one of those little skinny girls that don't really be eating or whatever. I noticed she only ate if we met like a guy or something and he paid for it. But anyway, in the duration of time we were there, she kept talking about this brunch spot that had hookah. Like she was like obsessed with it. So we finally get there, right? Oh, and by the way, I don't remember. I can't remember this in order. I can't remember what happened when. All right, I'll just try. We'll be in the street and any guy that walk by, she'll talk to them to see if they can help her extend her room or something because she wants to stay longer and she didn't have the money. And I told her I might be leaving and I'm not helping her pay for the room. Okay, so we go to this brunch spot, right? We get there at 2:30 p.m. When we get there, she's talking to the guy and the guy gives her this big discount on the hookah. That's why she wanted to go. We order food, drinks. I don't even smoke hookah like that, but I smoked it with her. I see she keeps like making a phone call. Now that everything is said and done, I'm remembering whoever she kept calling was answering because I don't remember her saying hello and like actively talking on the phone. I just remember her kept dialing and like she wasn't getting through to the person. So remember, we get there at 2:30. We eat, we drink. The sun is going down a little bit. It's now like 5:30. So then we finally get the bill and everything, right? It was only $130, but so I'm like, all right, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I'm about to put down my card. I say, you want to put down your card as well, whatever. She goes, it's something wrong with my card and I don't really have any cash. So can you just pay for it or whatever? So I'm like, fine. Okay, so I pay for it. But that wasn't the first thing I paid for, but I just can't remember what else it was. That's why I'm saying I can't remember the order or nothing. So I paid for this shit and we're still sitting there. So now I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, can we just go somewhere else? Because I'm really getting fucking pissed off. So finally, I guess she gets through to the person and we go to the Blue Fountain. Y'all, why this girl didn't tell me that we went to Miami for her to chase around this guy. We all done that before. We all been in love with a guy, found out what city they was at, and we went there to go track him down. I'm not going to drop names, but the guy worked for this very famous boxer who I also kind of knew. And I knew everybody else who worked for him. So when we got there, I knew all the other employees of the boxer, including the boxer's girlfriend. Well, one of them. The boxer's girlfriend reached out to me one day for one of my shoes. I design shoes and stuff. So she reached out to me for a pair and I sent them to her. So I went up to her and I was like, did you like to, at first, I don't think she remembered me that much. And she goes, oh, you're Naomi V. I said, yeah. So I showed her our email in a DM. So I left off where we met up with the guy she was following around. We met up with him in the Blue Fountain. So he worked for this boxer, yada, yada, yada. So I'm talking to the boxer's girlfriend because I sent her a pair of shoes for her to promote for me. So when I'm talking to her, the boxer guy, he comes up like, what are y'all talking about? So I show him the email, I show him my shoe line, and he's like, oh, okay, whatever. So the boxer guy is like, are you coming with us to like jog or ride bikes, whatever the case may be? So now Miss Miami, she's looking at me like, I know what she was thinking. She was thinking exactly what I was thinking. Had she been told me what we really was going to Miami for, she would have found out that I knew all those people. And instead of her like scavenger hunting, truck, whatever you call it, she could have told me who he worked for, and I would have been like, oh, I know almost everybody in that circle, and I could have made phone calls, and we could have been popped up to the Blue File or whatever the case may be. Now, after I'm done talking to the girlfriend, I'm sitting in front of Blue Fountain. By the way, the guy she was chasing around in Miami was fucking atrocious. He looked like some fucking bug or some like he just wasn't cute. So I hear them talking. Not only are they talking, they start arguing. And I can't make out what they're saying. I'm just hearing back and forth, back and forth. So she goes, Naomi, come here. So I'm like, all right. I go over there. I'm like, what's up? She goes, he wants to talk to you. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, whatever. So I woke up and she's like, I told you she's not going to want to talk to you. First of all, what kind of female did he think I am? I pull up with my friend and you think I'm going to talk to you right in front of my friend after my friend put in all this effort to find you? So we get in his Sprinter. Keep in mind, we haven't ate since 3 o'clock. So it's now like 7 o'clock at night. This is when I used to eat like 3-4 times a day. I don't even do that anymore. So we get in the Sprinter. We're in the Sprinter because everybody that day, I think, was riding a bike, jogging or something, and I had like on a dress, so I couldn't. So we followed the boxer in the Sprinter, whatever. So while we're in the Sprinter, I remember he opens up a to-go box of some wings, and there were bones that like some of the chicken was bitten, and then there was bones in it. He's like, oh, y'all want some chicken? First of all, you're offering us some eaten up chicken but couldn't buy us nothing to eat. Okay, whatever. So then we stopped at some clothing store for him to buy himself something. He didn't even buy her anything. And he's talking about how they're going out later. None of us yet was invited, right? So then we go to sit in front of his hotel. By the way, this girl was a huge pothead. All she wanted to do was smoke. And she drank a lot too, but she smoked more. Why? Now, I don't remember when this happened, but he tried to invite me out with him to the club and not her. I didn't like any of this. Then we go up to his hotel room and I have to use the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom using it, whatever, right? I hear them arguing again. And I hear her saying, she's not going to want to fucking talk to you. I'm thinking like, this is exactly why this girl never invited me nowhere. This is why. She felt like any guy she brought me around was going to want me. So anyway, I come out the bathroom. Oh, and I hear her. Oh, when I come out, she's like, she's not going to talk to you. She only talks to rich niggas. Like, that's how she's talking. She only talks to rich guys that spend money. Obviously, he was cheap and he wasn't trying to spend no money. So then he turns to me and he's like, all right, you want me to hook you up with a Jewish nigga? Like, I can get you a Jewish nigga. I can get you. I'm like, you don't need to hook me up with nothing. You're good. So he starts pulling out his outfit for the night out the bag and putting it on the bed. So he put this hat on the bed. I'm like, oh, that's a nice hat. I'm not really complimenting him. I'm complimenting the hat. So he goes to give me, he's like, you want it? I'm like, no, I don't want the hat. So she's getting pissed off, like, why are you trying to give her the hat? Whatever. So I did not like him at all, because you trying to talk to me like that, it's basically telling me like, yeah, you seem like a grimy ass bitch that would talk to some guy you're friend. That's how it's coming across. Then it's like, what if I was some grimy ass bitch and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to you. You don't give a fuck what's gonna happen with me and my friend when we get back to the hotel. So now we get in the car. Still have not eaten anything since 2:30. It's now like 9, maybe 10 o'clock at night. So I'm texting her like, yo, I am mad hungry. We're driving past all these good ass restaurants. So I'm like, and remember, he is not inviting her to the club. The only person he wanted to go with was me. And I'm not going with you to no club and I'm leaving my friend. What the fuck? So we passed by this restaurant. I'm like, let's hop out right here. She's like, no, no, no. So I finally got frustrated and I said, why do I feel like you don't want to hop out and go to one of these restaurants because you have to spend your own money? Because obviously he wasn't paying for like, and how are you chasing somebody who's not paying for shit? So she got mad and she taps and she goes, right when I met up with you the other day, remember before something, I spent my own money and bought my own food. Why the fuck you spending your own money and buying your own food while you're with him? I'm talking about while it's just me and you. So I'm like, I'm just getting more and more pissed. Like, and then I think once he dropped us off, I'm like, had you been told me we were coming over here to, you know, look for a guy, whatever, I said I would have been down with it. I've been there before and I would have helped you. But you had me scrambling around here with you. And you wasn't trying to tell me what you was really trying to do. And then I'm like, and I'm hungry as fuck. And I wanted like a real meal. This girl did not eat whatsoever in the duration time we was there. The only time she would eat was from this sandwich spot across the street from our hotel. Because you can get a sandwich, a drink, and a bag of chips for like $6. Y'all know what store that is. So then, check this out. I think I was supposed to be leaving the next day, or we both were supposed to be leaving. So we get into like this big back and forth, and I'm like, I just feel like you're being mad. So why she basically drops the bomb on me? She starts crying like, don't leave. She wanted to try to get me to pay for an extra night at the hotel. Bitch, are you dumb? So she ends up calling her father, and I believe her father sent her the money. She begged me to stay. All of this really felt like Inventing Annie-ish a little bit, if you guys saw that series. So I think I felt bad and I stayed with her. She ends up the guy she was chasing around, she ends up talking to the friend. So the friend also works for the boxer, and I also knew this other guy that worked for the boxer for quite like a long time. So I only hung with him because the guy that I knew the longest that worked for the boxer, he's kind of fucking ghetto. You know how like some athletes and some rappers will have somebody working for them in their entourage that's like straight ghetto, and they probably hired them. They probably hired them because they didn't have to pay them much. That's what I felt like he was. So I'm like, I'll hang with him just for the fun or whatever. So we hung with them, and in the duration of time of us hanging with them, the girl I was with was trying to get his friend to extend our hotel for some more nights. And she's doing all of this to chase the friend. And I think it was one more other guy in Miami that she also was chasing around or something. But I can't, she didn't speak to him much. I heard her talk to him for like maybe 20 minutes one time on the phone. So she ends up, I think, going on a date with the friend. And she asked to borrow my Chanel bag. I let her borrow it, and y'all, I know you're going to say, why would you let somebody borrow your Chanel bag? Not the white one y'all see in my profile picture. It was my old black Chanel bag. The reason why I let her borrow it is because we're staying in the same hotel, and all her stuff was there. Like, you got to bring the bag back. So she brings the bag back in good condition on the outside. But what is that stuff called that people put in their marijuana? I don't even smoke, so grab them. Why all that shit was in my fucking bag? And I was fucking pissed the fuck off. So, long story kind of short, she couldn't get... Oh, yeah, and then the guy that I was hanging with just to, help her, he was, cheap. We met up with them at some... there's a new soul food spot in Miami. I don't even like it. We met up there, and he was like, I hope you know I'm not paying for your friend or whatever, But anyway, I feel like there's more to what happened, but I can't remember. Oh, is more to what happened. The last day, okay, the night before we had a back and forth and she cried and begged me to stay. The next day I told her, I'm not paying for no other night because it's just feeling like you're dragging me along to help you pay for shit. Remember when I told y'all I spoke to her when I was in New York and she was in Miami and she was arguing with the security guard because she had to check out and she wasn't checking out? So yeah, the security came back knocking on the door and I was packing my stuff. I was like, I'll go straight to the airport and it's not that I didn't have the money. I had the money. But girl, I'm not about to pay for your stay because you want to chase around this man. Because when we was both in New York, you never invited me to shit. But now you think you're going to invite me here keep it a secret you're chasing somebody around and starving yourself because you don't. Long story short, again, I think that girl came to Miami with literally like $400, if that. If that. Because she was broke after the second night. She was broke after the second night. So anyway, the security comes. She's arguing with the security, going back and forth. Oh, yeah, and then she had got a fine because she was smoking in the room or something with the other bitch or whatever. And the room was in her name, and she was the one smoking anyways. So she had to pay for that I was not. And I think she asked me to help her pay for that too, and I was like, no. So she's going back and forth with the security guard. They sound like they're about to fight. Like they're about to fight. She calls her father, and the father ends up sending her money. And that's how she paid for that night. Then I started hanging out with the guy just to help her out. I let her borrow my Chanel bag. And then I think she went on 2 dates. She went on another date, and then she wanted to borrow my white Prada bag. I let her borrow that as well, and I think she fucking put the grabber shit in there too, and that's why I was so pissed. No, she ends up staying with the friend. And then the guy that worked for the boxer, we was like kind of cool. We had a mutual understanding that we're just not like that. So she stayed with the friend, and then the friend that I ended up staying with, I can't say his room was a suite, but it had like 2 beds and kind of like another room. So I stayed there. And then, as a matter of fact, I wanted to leave because I didn't want to stay with him or nothing. But he didn't try to push up on me, nothing like that. And I don't think she had sex with the friend either. Oh, yeah. And then she was lying to me that she kept going to Miami because she was looking for an apartment out there. But I don't think she had a job. And then she tried to lie to me that she had an apartment in New York, too. That she lived with her mother, but she had an apartment. I think she was just some young bitch trying to make it seem like she was on my level or something because I have my own shit. So she wanted to make it seem like she had her own shit when she didn't. So anyway, we make it back to New York, and we kind of came back on good terms until I went to get my bags out my luggage, and I still... and then when we were still in Miami, she goes, let me clean out your Chanel bag for you, out my bag that I left all this in there. You know what she did? She went in the Chanel bag just to get some more grabber for her marijuana, not to clean it out. So she gives it back to me, and I think I just put it in my luggage thinking she cleaned it out. So when I got back to New York and I saw all that shit in my Chanel bag and still all that shit in my Prada bag, I text her like, I felt like it was real fucking disrespectful that I let you borrow both my bags and you left it like this. So she said whatever she said, but now she's acting like she's top big dog because this is through text and we're not face to face anymore. So I end up blocking this bitch on everything. Like, girl, fuck that, whatever. And then also keep in mind, I forgot to mention this, every girl she hung with was ugly. I was the only one that was not. And the most decent looking one was her dick rider friend. And her dick rider friend wasn't cute either. So after that, I didn't speak to her again. And then I think like months and months later, it was my birthday. And I had went to Aruba for my birthday. But then after Aruba, me and my friend went to LA, right? And then I ran into one of my guy friends in LA, and he was like, yo, meet me in Miami. We're going to do that. So I get to Miami. After a couple of days of me being in Miami, why this girl, Miss Miami, writes me, texts me, because I had her blocked on Instagram. Either blocked or I unfollowed her or something. She goes, I've been watching your story and I see you're in Miami. Can we meet up? So I should have just ignored her, but the reason why I did not is because the girl I was with wanted to go out again that night and I didn't want to. And I knew she was the party type of girl. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I told my friend everything that happened before she got there. She was like, you still want to meet up with her? I was like, I'm not. You are. So I introduced them, and they went to some little party where there was celebrities and stuff. I did not give a fuck. Really didn't. And the girl was just like, oh, I've been thinking about you. After that, never saw her again, never spoke to her again either. Oh, yeah, there are some stuff that I left out. So in the duration of time of us hanging out with the boxer and his employees, some of the boxers' kids was with the suit, and his son was like pissing me off. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about the son, but the son was kind of young, and the fucking little fuck spilled his fucking shrimp salad on me. We was walking, and he kept like talking to every stranger passing by, and then he was doing some dance, and the fucking whole salad fucking spilled on me, and he was like, "Oh, my bad," like. And then she kept looking at me because, she knows I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck how many followers you have. I don't care who's your parents. I don't care who you're related to. Like, you piss me off, I will fucking curse you out, and I just don't give a fuck. So when his son was pissing me off, she kind of was looking like, please don't curse him out. Please. And I'm like, and then his son kept bumping into me. Like, the shit was just so fucking annoying. Anyway, months later, I didn't run into her. I'm sure she was watching me behind a fake page, talking about, I've been watching your story. Bitch, she was watching me behind a fake page. Linked to it, my friend. Never saw her again after that. Spoke to her or nothing. Long story short, she couldn't really see herself hanging with me because she felt like I was too pretty. But she felt like I had money. So she's like, if anything, I'll just invite her out when I'm desperate and I have nobody else to go with, and if I'm low on funds. Because that's how most insecure, broke females get down.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Boomer Sooner in this thing. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Hey, look. This is the longest story, this short, I've ever been into my entire life, and it brings me to one thing that I want to say about this whole story is that women are poor for real, and they prey on men to spend money. The one thing she says, she got money, right? And it's okay to have money, but medium rich people focus on their bags. Like these shoes in the back. If I'm sitting here talking about these shoes in my room, it's because, that's a lot of money. But like somebody who would turn around and be flexing the shoes that they wear, like, you're not rich for real. You might got enough money to buy some shoes, but you're not rich for real. Because rich people don't talk about that shit. Man, I had to challenge myself to buy shoes with no label on it, because I was like, bro, I'm tired of acting rich. I'm tired of this shit. It don't get you nowhere. You just because you got polo hat, polo shirt, polo pants, polo socks, polo shoes. That does that make you feel more important because you got that? Then I was just thinking about that while she was talking, because it was so annoying about how she was talking about it. Like, oh, I got this, I got that, I got this bag, I got that bag. But then y'all sitting here preying on men, and y'all didn't pay for one meal. Y'all was hanging out with dudes just to get food. And then women will literally be like, I don't need a free meal. I don't need a free meal from this man. And we had a 40-minute story about women sitting over here begging dudes for money. I don't get it. And that tells me, like, man, low key, most of these women don't be having it. They have enough to take care of themselves, but they can't take care. They expect a man to take care of you and your friends, but they don't have. She's complaining about her having to take care of her friend. Well, let's just go find a man to do it. You're pretty. Let's go find men. If this is a 40-minute lesson for men that they won't watch, if they watch this 40-minute TED talk, men will stop doing this for y'all. And then y'all it was a girl, I watched a video on TikTok. She was like, Yeah, these men in Detroit is broke. They not coming out here paying for drinks. They not doing this. They broke. Don't the D stands for don't come here. The D stands for decline. The D I'm like, are they broke or you broke? Like, are you mad because they didn't pay for your drink or you had to pay for your own drink? Like, what are we talking about? And then at the same time, we having the same argument, and then we argue about dudes who do this shit, who do this. Like, they trick on these women. I'm like, man, you don't know that she playing you? Man, I don't even care, man. I'm getting it no matter what. They say it ain't tricking if you got it, but there is something called stupidity. Okay? If you stupid, you can be stupid. But if you listen, if you want to go out and spend a couple dollars on a woman, go do that. On a random woman because she pretty, make her feel good. Bruh, give me a medium 6 that's gonna be there every night. Give me one that's gonna follow me. Give me one that's finna sit up all night with me on the phone. I trick on her all day long. But this, cause she pretty, this is a beautiful woman. I mean, she a beautiful woman. But not that fine. I don't give a damn. You not that fine. You not that fine. You hungry? You ain't that fine. Okay? Listen. I'ma be real, man. I used to never mind. No, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all. Man, this girl, right? Fine as all outdoors. Body plickety plop, boom boom. Young, no kids, good job, all that. I'm like, she was like, oh, you got 5 kids? I don't know. I told God, I said, hold my beer. And then, man, listen, turned her every which way but loose. And guess what? She want a man to pay for her stuff. She want a man to buy her dinner. She want a man to take her shopping. She want a man to fill up her gas tank. She wanted a man to do all that. And all I did was make her laugh for 30 minutes. I bought her a Charleston's dinner. It wasn't Charleston's. I don't remember the name of the place, but I'm gonna just say Charleston's because it wasn't expensive at all. And did everything. Women will do shit with broke people. And we sit over here online listening to this shit. We sit over here listening to this. Y'all spending, these dudes over here spending money on these girls. They broke. They targeting these men. We talk about sex trafficking. There need to be a name and a criminal charge for women who go out here and use men for their money because they don't got it. They take a trip to Miami and they don't got no money, so they trying to latch on to any man that'll pay for their hotel room. That need to be a criminal charge. But they'll give whatever they want to a broke man for free. So stop doing it. Like, stop tricking on these women. Well, I can't say stop tricking on them because y'all gonna do it anyway. But because I don't know. You either be funny or rich. If you funny or rich, those are the ways you're gonna get laid. You be funny or rich. If you not either one of those, you're not gonna get these type of women. Mind you, she's a good 6. She's a good 6. But she a gold digger. You can't be a good 6 and a gold digger. People picking up a good 6 because they think you wife material. Nobody picks up a good 6 to be to trick on. We pick up good sixes to marry. If you anything above a 6, you're gonna have a hard time finding a good man. So that's why we watched a video with a woman putting on all this makeup, and I'm like, why is she putting all that makeup on? Girl, just go natural. Go natural, because you'll be better finding a man natural than you will. Now, I'm not saying nothing about women putting on makeup. I love women. Y'all do y'all. I'm not gonna judge y'all for putting on makeup. But you'll catch more men in a bonnet and a robe with no bra on than you will putting on all this makeup and wearing all this revealing clothes and dressing sexy. You put on a robe with no bra and see how many men in your inbox versus you putting on a thong and showing revealing clothes. You're gonna get two types of men. If you put on the thong and put on revealing clothes, you're gonna get broke scallywag ass dudes who just want to see if they can try to hit or whatever. And you're gonna get like the rich people who just want to spend money on you just to hit. If you put on a robe and a bonnet and no bra, you gonna get you a husband. You gonna get you a husband. Think I'm lying. All they want to do is see them big old, listen, all they want to see is, how the robe it be caressing the breast and it make the nipples hard and they just they be swanging. Men like that. They don't like this bullshit y'all be putting on the internet to be. Well, no, yeah, we do. I'm lying. We like it. But I'm saying if you want a husband, wear a goddamn robe and a bonnet with no bra on. That nigga in your inbox right now telling you how fine you is. I'm telling you. Get to the next story. I want nobody to trick. I want to expect nothing at the end of the day. Man, hey, men be tricking. I don't get it, but maybe they do. I don't know why men trick. But listen. If you want a man that's gonna spend money on you, don't go looking for the man with money. The man with money he gonna spend it on you. But he gonna use you, and then you be making a story time about this man, how this man just did you wrong. Go find you a man that's gonna love you. A man that love you gonna spend his whole check on you. He gonna give you his check when he come home from work. Pay the bills, pay this, and whatever's left over, you have it. It might not be much, but it's gonna be something. And that's the nigga you trick to, because you gonna live a long life without. I ain't gonna say you ain't gonna go through times, because we done heard story time. I seen a story on TikTok where a woman was with this dude since she was like 17, 18 or something. They got 2 kids. He cheated on her, and she fine. She fine. I'm like, why'd he cheat on her? Why'd he cheat on her? I don't know. See, he cheated on her for some reason, but they've been together 20 years. So I can't say that every man is gonna be like perfect, because after 20 years of marriage, 2 kids, and you out here cheating on a fine wife who she does social media, and she make a decent living off social media, but you gonna cheat on her? Hey, any woman can get it. Okay? Hillary Clinton got cheated on by a fat white woman. Anybody can get it. I ain't saying Hillary just fine. She cute for being white, but I'm not saying she just fine. But like she the first lady. The first lady got cheated on by, and the mistress was a fat white lady. Okay?